Hello. In this video lesson, I'm going to be finishing up lesson 3. So I'm going to be on page 25 out of the book. If you're looking at the PDF, it's the page that says natural notes on the second string. So in this lesson, we're going to learn notes B, C, and D on the second string. We're going to learn them with accidentals. We're then going to combine it with the first string, E, F, and G. And then I'll also show you like a cool strumming technique, and we'll cover the A7 chord. So let's get straight into it. So B is going to be open, second string, so put your thumb on the third string. C is first fret on the second string, and D is third fret on the second string. So make sure to keep your wrist straight this way, don't be bent this way or that way. Keep your fingers curved and playing on the tips of the fingers. It's best to try and make this work as much as you can from the beginning. It'll just make your playing become better quicker. All right. Once you've acquainted yourself with B, C, and D, you may pause the video and just play through them a bit and look at the frets, whatever you need to. Also acquaint yourself with what they look like on the staff. Then I want you to play along with me with what I'm about to do right now, which is the natural note review, first and second string. So it's kind of in the middle of this page. It's underneath the diagrams for B, C, and D. So this covers the second string and first. So we'll have B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we'll go back downward. So I'll just demonstrate that quickly, and then I'm going to count to 4, even though it's not metered, and play through this. So we have B, C, and D, which we've learned. Then we'll do E, F, and G, which we played last lesson. And then we'll just play it backwards. F, E, D, C, B. All right? So I'm going to count to 4, and then I'll say the note names out loud as I play through it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. B, C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, B. All right, do your best to alternate your fingers in the right hand as you do that, as you play through this, because as we go through the semester, I'm going to be less and less cool with you repeating fingers. And also, I want you to make sure as you change the strings that your thumb rests on the string above the one that you're playing. So I would play that. I'd warm up with this for a week or so, at least until we get to playing the third string, and then add that to it. Let's move on to exercise 12. So here we're in 3/4. We just have the notes B, C, and D, so just the second string for now. I want you to do your best as you're learning this. I say do your best, just do it. If you have to go slowly, break it down. I'd be happy to meet with you and just work with you through it so you can get an idea of how to practice it if you're having trouble with this, because I do want you to play through it, alternating your fingers, using the correct fingers here, and using the best technique that you know of. All right. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and play through this, and you can slow it down or break it down if you need to. All right. So I'm going to count to 3. Please join with me. Just the second string. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Before I move on to exercise 13, I'll play through the chord progression, and I'd love for you to also join along with me. And remember, you can take the one I previously played through, play the chords along with that, and you can take what I'm about to do where I play the chords and play the melody, the notation along to the chords, so you can get a sense of playing and making some harmony. So here we go. So we have G, right? D minor, E, and A major. All right, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we had a C at the end there. Sorry to not cover that. All right. Exercise 13, we're back in 4-4. We're still using the second string only, B, C, and D, so open first or third fret. And here, the fingerings aren't written in, so I'd like for you to do that. And when we have our assessment meeting, I'd be happy for to check it. Or even before then, if you want to write in the fingerings, so the I and the M, and then the 1, 2, 3, and maybe take a picture of it and email it to me, or send me a text message, and I can review it and let you know if everything's all good. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and play through exercise 13. I'll count to 4 because we're in 4-4. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm going to play through the chords. We have E major, D minor, A minor, G major, and C. So I didn't play it in order, so hope that wasn't confusing. I just wanted to cover the chords we're doing. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Let's turn the page. Now we are going to add sharps and flats. So remember how that works. If it's got a sharp next to it, which is the number sign or hashtag kind of looking thing, it's going to be 1 fret higher. So C is normally first fret, C sharp is going to be second fret. D is normally third fret, D sharp will be fourth fret. Notice I use second finger for second fret and fourth finger for fourth fret. I want you to use those fingers, all right? Let's see, I think we can just go ahead and play through this, huh? So just the second string, just something to cover. If you look at measures 3 and 4, we have what is called a chromatic scale. That means it's going 1 fret after the other, or in a little bit more musical terminology, we're playing just half steps one after the other. So the reason why I bring that up is it may seem kind of tricky at first, but it's just this. All right, so it's just moving up 1 fret and then back down. I want you to make sure you know the notes, but it could help you learn it quicker if you kind of understand it. All right, so we're still in 4-4. I'm going to play exercise 14. Please join me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and of course now chords. So we have B7 and E7. So if I didn't point this out before, I'm not sure if we have. For these two chords, finger 2 will be on 5th string 2nd fret. So you can just move your fingers around that. And another thing that I kind of pay attention to is finger 1 is going to either go up or down. So if I have B7 and I'm switching to E, I'll lift up fingers 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. That's these two, so to not be confusing. We'll lift up these two, and then finger 1 will move down a string. So it moves from 4th string 1st fret to 3rd string 1st fret. So for me, just thinking about that and taking any kind of confusion, or not even just confusion, but just knowing it better, it seems to make it easier for me. So let's try exercise 14. I'll play the chords and I hope you can join along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll notice after the B7 chord, like measures 4 and measures 5, they don't have chords written above it. That just means we'll keep playing the B7 chord, and feel free to do any of the other kind of strumming patterns that they've mentioned in the book before. Pretty soon I want to do a lesson on that. I probably mentioned that before. All right, exercise 15. This is where you want to make sure that you're comfortable with the 1st string as well. That you may need to review that again if it's been a while, because we're going to be playing E, F, and G as well as B, C, and D. So if you practice the scale, and it's not called a scale, the natural note review 1st and 2nd string on the page before, a lot of this will kind of flow with it because it moves scale wise, meaning like one note after the next, like alphabetically. So you'll notice it's like line, space, line, space. That's kind of what I mean by that. So I'm going to play through this. If you need to, and they haven't written them in, you may want to go in and write in your fingerings for both hands. You may even want to write what string you're playing. So if it's a string, you'll circle the number. If it's a fret or fingering, you'll not circle it. So I don't know why I did this, but let's play through exercise 15. Here we go. 4-4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. All right, let's do the chords now. And just like previously, we have some measures without the chord symbols, and that just means you keep playing the one that you were doing before. So we'll have C for measures 1, 2, and 3, then G for measures 4 and 5, and then it's one chord per measure. It changes after that. Here we go. Exercise 15. Now with the chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, cool. We're moving right along. We're at exercise 15 now. So for this, we're going to learn the root strum, but how about we cover the notes first, and then whenever we get to the chord part of it, I'll talk about that. All right, so let's play through this. Still the notes on strings 1 and 2. The C at the beginning, remember, common time, same as 4-4. So I'll count to 4 and we'll play through this. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So let's talk about this kind of root strumming and what that means. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to first play the lowest note of the chord with our thumb and then use the back of our finger to strum the rest of it. So I'm going to go through, this is a 4-chord progression that repeats, and that'll make sense hopefully in a minute. So the first chord we have is C, and the lowest note of this chord that we want to be playing for the root anyway is going to be the 5th string, 3rd fret. So you just need to remember 5th string. So we'll play the 5th string with our thumb, and then we'll strum the rest of the chord after that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty cool. 5th string, strum. And as you might notice, I put my thumb on the 6th string just to kind of anchor my hand, but you don't have to. You could just do like that. It's just it's a little more stable feeling for me. A minor is our next chord. So make sure to set for A minor, and the lowest note for A minor is also the 5th string. So we'll play the 5th string, strum the rest of the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So far we have C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you notice that transition in my left hand? Finger 3 was the only thing that had to move to change. This might be pretty challenging now. It may not. I don't know. You need to have finger independence, meaning that one finger can move and the others don't have to move around with it. They can be more stable. So the more you can practice your exercises, like I believe it's exercise 10, the more you can build finger independence, all right? Okay, so moving on, measure 3, now we have E minor, and the lowest note of E minor is the 6th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have G, and the lowest note for that is also the 6th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this what I mean about it being a 4-chord progression is this is going to repeat. If you look at measures 1 through 4, C, A minor, E minor, G, then 5 through 8, C, A minor, E minor, G, and then C, A minor, E minor, G, and we end on C. So let's try and play through this using the root strum. You may need to practice this a bit on your own, or just go really slow and don't worry about being perfect with your timing. You know, as a being beginner or even just new to a technique, even if you play guitar, maybe you haven't done it, taking your time to be accurate is a good thing. You can, once you get comfortable, then it'll be easier to speed up. But if you skip that step and just try and go to play fast when you don't fully feel comfortable, you're not going to feel comfortable go slow or fast, all right? So that's the end of that lecture. Let's play through exercise 16 with the root strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to talk about something, and I'm not sure if I've mentioned this video. I often talk about playing E minor with fingers 2 and 3. So it's like E major, but you lift your pointer finger off, finger 1. And I often use that fingering, unless I can play it with fingers 1 and 2, and it makes the chord before or after it easier. So I'm going to explain this progression a bit. So just going through the whole, it's just 4 chords. So here we have C, from C to A, fingers 1 and 2, 1 and 2, stay down, and finger 3 lifts up and changes. Then from A minor to E minor, what we're going to do is lift up finger 3 completely. We'll also lift up finger 1 and then move it to the 5th string 2nd fret. So we kept finger 2 down the whole time, from A minor to E minor. Now the reason why this can be helpful is we can keep finger 1 down when we move from E minor to G major. So what I'm doing is, if I can find a way to keep a finger down and keep my hand feeling stable, it makes the chord changes easier. And if you've ever maybe played another instrument, or maybe even the guitar and performed, you'll know that if you don't do it very often, or a lot of people get nervous or kind of excited feeling. So having things to make you feel secure, if you're feeling jittery or whatever, it helps. And if you're not, it's still easier to, once you practice it that way, to keep your fingers down. So it's a smart thing to do. I would completely suggest, strongly suggest, I don't know which one is a stronger term, right? To practice this fingering I just mentioned. All right, exercise 17. We're talking about chords. Let's review A7. So here we have finger 1 on the 2nd string 3rd fret and finger 3 on the 2nd string 3rd fret. So I'm not sure if I said that right. It is early in the morning for me. It's 6 something. So we're on finger 1 on 4th string 2nd fret and finger 3 on 2nd string 2nd fret. Now I want to talk to you a different way, because I don't think I ever play the chord this way. I normally always will use finger 2 on the 4th string 2nd fret instead. It's so much more comfortable for me. Another way, and this is only for like if you're more advanced, and like remember a moment ago we were talking about using fingerings that make the next chord easier. Like if you had to do a bar chord next or something like that, I might do fingers 3 and 4. So that way if I had to do something kind of bluesy, A to B7, that I could switch into that chord easier. But you can ignore what I just said and just think of 2 and 3 is a more comfortable option for my hand. And I think that's probably how the book I originally learned it out. So you can do 1 and 3 because it's helpful. If you're going to do A major, you may do 1, 2, and 3. And we'll get to that chord later because I have some other options for that. This is fine, but again, it depends on what chords I'm doing around it. Let's go ahead and look at exercise 17. So this one's interesting because it adds sharps and flats and has strings 1 and 2 combined as well. So it really makes sure that you're starting to learn your notes and be comfortable. As far as practicing, I know I talked about, we could go over that, but you could work on 1 note at a time, 2 notes, 3, and just repeating it. And it'll be a while to get through the piece, but you can, if you do it that way, even if you're brand new, learn how to play the piece really cleanly, meaning, get rid of buzzes and become comfortable with where to put your fingers. So you may practice 1 measure at a time, and get very good at that. And then the 2nd measure, and then put measures 1 and 2 together. Then practice measure 3 and get comfortable and put that together. Now here we have some similarities. So if you did it that way, there's some things you get to skip. Like measures 1 and 3 are the same. Let's see, measure 8 is also the same as measures 1 and 3. So there's certain things that come up. So if you put the time in to really work on measure 1, you also will have measures 3 and measures 7. I may have said 8, but measure 7 is also the same. So All right, I'm going to play through this. We're in 4/4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And if you have the hard copy of the book, this is helpful. If you're working on the PDF, I don't know if they have the supplemental stuff online. I need to check, and I apologize for not knowing. But the reason why I mention this, it says that there's a couple pieces on page 54 with more exercises that cover strings 1 and 2. All right, let's play the chords to this. So looks like we have a 12-bar blues. I'll explain that more later in this lesson. I don't want to be too ADD. I want to stick with exactly what's there, and hopefully at some point when I have some extra time, I'll throw in some stuff just for fun for those of you who may be just wanting to learn some more guitar stuff. So E7, A7, and B7 are the chords we're using. And remember, if there's no chord written above a measure, just play the one from the measure before. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Make sure to play the notes along with that too. It's really fun to kind of harmonize and play along with the chords, or to do the opposite, play the chords along with the melody. Once you get it down, at least if you like guitar playing, I think it's awesome. So let's look at exercises 18. So exercise 18 and 19, they're going to use this technique where we alternate in between our thumb and index finger. So for exercise 18, you just want to be comfortable. You may do this first, just play thumb on the second string and index on the first, and you can just warm up with this, as basic as it is, getting the fingers and the muscle memory of them comfortable with where these strings are, and pick whatever speed you like. Go slow as you like, and then you can work on speeding up like I'd done a moment ago. So here we have some repeat signs, and I want to make sure we talk about that. So measures 1 and 2, we're going to repeat those. So the reason why we know that is we have like the darker lines with the 2 dots, and like for measure 1, I'm doing this mirror image, so hopefully it makes sense. Like you're going to be thinking this way, right? Because that's going to be your left to right. So measure 1, there's the 2 dots here, and then we fall out to measure 2, and then there's 2 dots on the inside. That's how you know this is the section you're repeating. So we're going to play measure 1, measure 2, measure 1, measure 2, and then play 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So I'll play along. I'll play it, and hopefully that makes sense. And if you need to, you can rewind and then play it along with me after you've practiced it a bit. So the other thing that can make this piece a little bit easier to learn is you are only changing notes on the second string. The notes on the first string is always going to be open, always on beats 2 and 4. So like the beginning 2 measures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we just used our index finger to play the open first string after each note. All right, let's play through this. Remember, I'm going to repeat measures 1 and 2. So I'll play measure 1, measure 2, measure 1, measure 2, and then go on. 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Continue. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play the chords, and just remember measures 1 and 2 are going to repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Continue. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So moving on to 19. Here we don't have chords, so we just are going to learn it. And we have first and second endings. So if you look at the last line of this, you'll see there's a 1 that's in brackets over that measure below it, and then a 2 that has brackets in that one. So the first time, and you'll also see we have repeat signs. This time we're going to repeat a lot more. So we're going to play measures 1 all the way to measure 8, then go back to measure 1 again, play all the way and finish measure 7. But this time we're going to skip the measure that's under bracket number 1, that's our first ending, and play the measure following the second ending. So I'm going to play through this, and I'll do my best to announce out loud what's going on. For this exercise, we're going to be playing I and P, so first string and second, and the notes that are changing this time are going to be on the first string only. So let's give it a try. Exercise 19. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. First ending. 1, 2, 3. Go back to the beginning now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second ending. 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully that made sense to you. I'd be happy to talk about it during our assessment next week. And this wraps up the second half of lesson 3. As long as I'm able to, I'm going to go ahead and shoot right after this, some stuff for the next lesson. So stay tuned for that, hopefully coming out very soon after this video. I hope it's helpful, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.